going to be doing a snow globe together. Thanks for tuning in. I will take feedback on how my volume is. Anyone here have any comments? So if you find that you need us to turn it up or adjust in any way, please let us know. We do have a computer going over here, so hopefully we'll be able to check things out and read it a little better. And thanks so much for tuning in. For the people that haven't been in here before, this is the hot shop where we make our bigger things. So everything in here is done on the end of a long rod. I'm going to gather a little bit of clear glass out of my furnace. My furnace runs at 2,200 degrees. Hi, Susan. Hi, Susan. Thanks for tuning in. Can you hear me pretty well? She said that she can. Yay. We're getting better at this. So I've got a little bit of clear glass. It may look orange, but that's just because it's super duper hot. I'm going to go and get a little bit more, and then I'm going to make it white. So right now I'm working on the base of the snow globe. Christina, will you show them the snow globe that I made last week? Maybe hold it from the bottom. This is the snow globe that we made last week. It has a snow lady in it. This week, I'm looking to make it a little bit better. I want to have the snow globe, the glass part, be a little bit more round and less bell-shaped. We're also going to do a different inside design, but that's a secret. Oh, and the last thing that I want to do different for this one, I'm not going to try to put snow in it as glass. I'm just going to leave a tiny little hole in it, and then I'm going to try to fill it with some liquid stuff and make it shake like a snow globe. I'll put a little bit of glass glue over the hole later. So if anybody knows anything about liquids, I do have a thread going in our Facebook group with some people that gave some great suggestions, and I'm always down for more. I went into some white color that is also known as frit, F-R-I-T, frit, and it's basically crushed up chunks of colored glass that's compatible with the glass in my furnace. I kind of let it all swirl together, and it's hard to see, but there's a good amount of white swirled in there. This will be our snow for the bottom of my snow globe. The last time I did this, I had the bottom clear, decided to step it up a little and make it white. At first I was thinking about making it green, but thought it would be fun to kind of keep with the season. We got some snow. I'm letting this glass cool down a little bit. That way I can go back in my furnace and wrap some clear glass around it. I don't want to go in the furnace when I'm hot, because then I could lose control of all this glass. So I wait till it's cold and stable, and I'll go back in the furnace. Oh, hi everyone, thanks for checking in. We've got a little delay on the computer, so if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comments, but it may take us a moment because it's a little bit behind. That way we don't have to lean over and try to follow what you're saying on my tiny phone over there. So I went back in the furnace, I wrapped a layer of clear glass around all of my white, and I'm letting a whole bunch of it drip off, because I'm not trying to make this thing super huge. But inside my furnace is a big ceramic pot. It holds 145 pounds of melted clear glass, and it runs around 2,200 degrees. I got a little more material. I'm gonna organize it a bit. Don't pass me those papers. So when we're working in here, it's always a team activity. Since COVID, I've mostly been working with my mom, which has been really cool. Today I have the pleasure of working with my friend Christina. Christina used to help run the flame shop back before COVID, and I've been lucky to get to spend time with her in the hot shop again. But as you notice, we are wearing masks to be safe, so it is taking a little getting used to, and hence my really sweet microphone setup going on. So I want my base to be able to break off this rod later. So my next step is to make a groove where I'm going to want it to break free. Got to get this step done first, and then we kind of move along with the process. This demo is going to be relatively fast because we have it all set up already. Glass blowing in here can happen pretty quickly, but oftentimes things do take a while. This demo will be rather quick for our impatient folks. It'll be good for you. So I've got this tool called the jacks, and I'm just kind of creating a little groove where I want this to break. I'm gonna paddle on gentle. Christina's got a paddle. She was shielding my arm a little because it gets a little toasty. Paddle off. But I'm getting my base, paddle on for a sec. And I kind of want to shape it a little more forced, I'd say, than the last time I did this. Last time it was kind of round. We call it just like a cookie foot. This time I kind of want it to sit on a pedestal. So I'm using a tool to shape the sides, having Christina work on the bottom, check out my width. Pretty good, right? What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's better if it's a little bit.
Yeah. And let me show you all a little closer what I got. So this is white. It's flat. Still really hot and moving. But this will be the base of our snow globe. Once it's not moving, I'm going to decorate it a little bit. The theme of this snow globe is a surprise, so you're going to have to wait and see. But first I'm going to draw on this base a little bit before we start putting it all together. Does anyone have any questions? So I have a little bit of time to let this get stable. Feel free to type them on in. Wanna flash this for a sec? If this glass gets too cold, it's going to break, so she's going to flash it in the heat. And then she's going to just come on out, let it cool down for quite some time. We don't want it to be wiggling around when I start drawing on it. I've got this pencil of glass. It's a really pretty color. I'd call it like a blue purple. What do you think, Christina?
Periwinkle?
Periwinkle, is Christina's professional opinion. I'm going to use this matte gas right here to heat it up, and then I'm going to use it to write. Once this isn't wiggling around anymore, though. I'm going to let it. Yeah, you want to let it fall the other way. So yeah, it's moving around. Don't really want to be trying to hit a moving target. Just giving it time to stabilize. Then I'm going to heat the tip of this. I wouldn't even flash, I would just keep spinning until it's moving around, and I'm going to draw on it. So this is kind of a combination between flame working and working in the hot shop, which is where we are. Flame working, you're typically holding cold pencils of glass and heating it in front of a hot torch. Okay, you want to let it fall on the other side? And flip. So I'm able to create a design onto my mask. And we'll show you what I'm doing in a minute. On a flash. So I got one letter on there, or one number I should say, and it's a 2. The theme of my snow globe is 2020. Flip.
Someone just asked, Catherine O'Neill just asked, do you keep turning so it won't miss shape?
Very great question. Yes, we do. This glass moves around like a liquid. And if we're not turning, then we lose our shape. So we're trying to use the centrifugal force of that turning to keep the glass on center, which is what we call it, keeping that shape. Awesome question, and you already knew the answer. Anyone else have any questions? Oh, hey, Misty. Thanks for tuning in. We're making a snow globe that represents 2020 to me. This snow globe, once it's cooled down, I'm going to put some liquid in it so that hopefully it'll be really fun and shaky, which was kind of like 2022 minus the fun part. Go ahead and flip. So Christina's keeping the piece warm. I've got a pencil of glass that's the same kind of glass that's in my furnace, and I'm using it to heat up the tip and draw on it. When you flash on it, just keep this down the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tap it real quick. So we got a 202, and we got our last letter on there. So once more, I've got a matte gas torch. I apologize, this part is loud. This is the only time I'll decorate for this. And this demo will be rather short. I know in the past I've done them and they're like an hour. And flip. And Christina and I are working as a team. Typically we like to work in teams of 2, 3 is even better. But the more complicated the project, the bigger the team. Flash. I'll have you deliver it. And with teamwork comes communication. We went over how we were going to do this pretty much all day long. We talked through. So we've already kind of made this in our heads almost. And here's what we got so far. 20, 20. So this snow globe represents this awesome year that we've all had. Want to make empty? Yes, I used the wrong one. Okay. Yeah. Hey Misty. You love the snow globe? Yeah. So we aren't open to the public anymore. We're just teaching private classes in the flame shop. But I've been doing a lot of icicle classes and that's been pretty fun. And here, as you can see, it's really good team activity. And typically most of the things we make involve actual blow. So that's been kind of difficult. Having a business that revolves around kind of sharing germs a little bit. Although we were always thoughtful because of flu season and such. So I want to flip this over onto another rod. I'm a little hot, I'm sorry. You want to flash? Christina's got what's called a punty, P-U-N-T-Y. And that punty's got a little bit of glass on it. That little bit of glass is going to support the weight of the entire piece for the rest of the time that I work on it. So I'm going to flip it off of the rod that I'm on right now and onto the rod that she's on. When you're looking at hand-blown glass, oftentimes you see the punty mark on the bottom of things, so now you know what it's for. If I were making a cup, I'd be putting water on the lip of the cup right now, telling it where I want it to break. Vibration breaks us free, and now we can keep working our snow globe. Well, I think the inside will let that soak, and then you can use that for a punty for the top. So Christina's gonna start the inside of my snow globe. Last week, I started by making a snow lady, and then we put her inside of the snow globe. This week it's gonna be a little different because I'm doing a more organic shape. So I'm just gonna kind of let this cool down for a little while. And Christina's getting some glass for my inside. So she's gathering or collecting a little bit of glass from the furnace onto the bottom of a little solid rod. She's gonna let that stabilize for a minute before she goes back in so she can get the amount that I need for my design. She'll get even more. Then she's gonna get the color that I asked for her to get for me, which is in fact an amber or a very, very dark brown.
Anyone have any guesses yet?
Christina wants to know if you have any guesses on what I would put that is a very dark brown inside of a 2020 snow globe. And it is sitting on the snow, so hopefully it's outside. The scene, it was going to be grass, but we thought it's more New England appropriate. So she's got my amber. You're just going to get that hot, or are you going to shape it?
What do you want?
I want it hot.
It's not a bad shape.
I know.
If you want.
So this reheating furnace right here is around 2400 degrees. I turn that on and off every time we work. Christina's heating all that color up, and I've got this tool called the diamond shears. We've got a lot of funny traditional tools here. And flip. And this looks orange, but it's actually amber. Twist. And we're decorating the inside of my snow globe with the theme of 2020. Does anyone have any guesses? Now we're gonna get ready to decorate, to put the top on the snow globe. So I already made these tops, and they've been sitting in a kiln that's around, well, right now it's actually 1052 degrees. You can heat that up in the hole if you want.
Yeah. It's just like the old last one.
Oh, is it clean now? Just use another punty, or you can use a blowpipe if you want. So the snow globe tops are basically almost like a bigger wine glass or something. And when you're making something like this, you always want to have a backup. So I took some time earlier to make two. They've been sitting in there. I picked which one's my favorite, so Christina's gonna pick it up out of there. The reason that it's so tricky to get those up and out is because we need to get it from 1050 degrees to over 2000 degrees in that reheating furnace. And that will shock the glass a lot. So we have to be pretty thoughtful. If we keep it out of the heat for too long, it's gonna crack. If we stick into the heat too fast, it's gonna crack. There's lots of ways that glass likes to crack.
We got lots of guesses.
Oh, we got guesses? Oh, I love the emojis. Yeah, don't you all agree? This is a perfect theme.
Alright.
Alright, I'm gonna flash and I'll get the door for you. So we're gonna pick up the cup, and it's in a kiln right behind the camera. So we're gonna do a little fiddling over your head for a minute. So Christina's got a punty. If you don't have to squish it, don't. Okay. And we're gonna try to get it up to temperature without it shocking. You're probably good where you are right now. This kind of glass is dubbed soft glass, and that's not because it's mushy. That's because it has a lower melting temperature, but it also likes to crack and break when it goes through extreme changes in temperature. So you can't stick my kind of glass in the oven, for instance. You can certainly bring it up to oven temperature, but you'd have to do it very, 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 very slowly. Unlike the Pyrex glass that you use for your kitchenware. And I'm loving the poop emojis, everyone.
I like glanced over, I just saw a whole bunch of poop emojis. I'm like, oh my god.
Now I'm wishing that we had made eyeballs for our poop, but
Oh man.
maybe that will be the next one.
Next time. Should I go in?
Have you not flashed yet? Yeah, go in the big hole and flash. And start heating the lip until it's moving around a little. So we're getting ready to connect these. She's heating the top of the snow globe, which will be the bottom. I'm heating where we want it to be connected. And we're gonna work to put them together. Thanks to everybody for tuning in, by the way. It's really nice to feel like I'm hanging out with people for a minute. Are you moving at all? Hey, do you think the poop can fit in that hole? Okay. We're worried about the size of the poop and the size of the hole. Oh, I took a caliper on it. It would be just like 2020. Oh, we're good. To make it not work, right? We should crack it on purpose. That would be like 2020.
Let's try not to, but if it did, it would be okay.
Yeah, so Christina says that if it happens, then we did it on purpose, but if it doesn't, then we then we did that on purpose too.
It looks like I'm moving a little.
Okay, I'm not hot, so I need you to be the sticky one. You good? Flip. And spin. Okay, I need to get a hole in this before I do anything else. So I'm gonna have you take it. So inside of my snow globe right now is a vacuum. And I'm going to poke a hole in it so that's not the case. You can spin for a minute. And then we'll neaten it up. But it came out pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie, the poop almost didn't fit in the hole, but it worked. You can see it got mushed around a little. When we're making new things like this, it takes a long time before we get them just perfect, but everyone we make gets better and better, so it's wicked fun. And I am gonna try to fill this with liquid, which will make it more fun. Okay, wanna let it fall with 2020 up. And flip. Okay. So I've got this pokey thing called a tungsten, and I'm heating it up, and I'm wiggling my way through to make a hole. Flip. And I think I want that hole just a little bigger. So I can get a little funnel in there, or something. Okay, you wanna crash and heat the top? What do y'all think? Pretty cool? What kind of snow globe do you think I should make next? The Punty? Okay. So we're just heating the top right now because there's a little sharp spot. And then we're gonna get ready for a dismount. The piece itself sits on this punty, which is this rod. There's a little crack going on with the punty, so it gave us a little assurance while we heat out the funny spot. Does anyone have any questions for me? I really appreciate you all tuning in. We're almost done with this piece, and I'm here to answer any questions at the end. But also, if you're watching this later, feel free to type the questions in the comments. I'll make sure to go through and check it periodically. I am trying to commit to doing this every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Every week I want to do something different. Right now, as you can see, I'm exploring snow globes, but maybe we'll move on from this depending on where inspiration takes, but I just want it to be just different fun things for you all to see with glass. If you're interested in giving input, you can always comment on this, or we run a really active Facebook page full of a whole bunch of cool people. It's called Friends of Terrapin Glass. You want to bring that over here for me for a second?
Yes.
And on our Facebook page, you can give us different feedback on what you like. So here's our little snow globe. It's 2020 with some poop. And just like 2020, things went funny. The top just collapsed. But this is the part of designing different things in here, is you never get it just the first time. So this is part of the fun for us. And someday when you see a really perfect snow globe of mine, probably a year from now, just kidding, then you'll understand all the time and work that it takes to get to that point, and the price always has to reflect upon that. So good lessons and really fun times. Ready? Here's 2020 again. And so this glass has to cool down really slow. I still do want to try to fill this with some liquid because that's going to be another fun part. I'm going to put water where I want it to break, and then we're going to drop it off in a really hot box called an annealer, A-N-N-E-A-L-E-R. That holds it at 960 degrees and we'll bring it down really slow. So Christina's getting some gloves on. I think you probably can't see this far back. I'm using a butter knife to tell it where we want it to break. It just popped right off, so something went right. And we're putting it away in a hot box with our other creations from today. At the end of the day, I'll bring it down really, really slowly to room temperature at a rate that this kind of glass won't fracture or crack. Usually it's back to room temperature around at the middle to the end of the day tomorrow. And then it's maybe a few hundred degrees. It takes a good couple of days before something that thick is actually cool and able to start the cold working process, which is step 2 for all of this. I will depart from you all by just showing you the snow lady from last week. So this week we tried to go for more of a shallow shape, and last week I just put glass snow in it and kind of closed it off. This week I skipped the snow. I want to put some kind of liquid in it and glue over the hole. So it should be pretty fun. Follow our Facebook group if you want to get more updates on all the stuff we're doing. And thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye.